Hi everyone, my name is Brandon Paris from OSI Go Direct, your DIY security product online store. So if you're watching this video, it's because you have just finished programming your OSI Wi-Fi alarm system and now you're ready to install your sensors, and you're watching this video because you just want to make sure that you get the right placement correct to get the best usage and protection out of the system. So grab a pencil, a rubber hammer or mallet, a stool or ladder, and a Phillips head screwdriver, and we'll see you right after this. Okay, the first thing we're going to talk about is the window/door sensors. Now these contact sensors are very easy to install. It only takes a few seconds. They're made up of two parts. One is the sensor, that's the large part, and one is the magnet, that's the small one. One side needs to be mounted on the window or door, and the other side needs to be mounted on the frame. It actually does not matter which side goes where, although for aesthetic reasons, most people put the large part, which is the sensor, on the frame, and then the small magnet on the window or door. So I'm going to show you how to install these on the door, and then I'm going to show you how to install it on the window. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to flip the sensor and the magnet around so we can see the back, and then we're going to stick on the 3M backing. Now we'll do the first one. We'll do the magnet on one side. We'll take off the backing like this, and then we're going to stick it on like this. So for the sensor side, we're going to peel off the backing off one side and then pop this part out, the little middle area here. And the reason why is so that when we stick this on like this, then you can still have access to the on and off button and the pairing button. So you'll notice if you turn these on its side, you notice that there are two notches or arrows. Ensure that when mounting the contact sensor to make sure the notches are lined up. Secondly, the sensor and magnet should be no more than 1/2 inch apart. So you want them about like roughly no more than this far apart. So do we place these lower on the door or do we place them higher up on the door? I would recommend higher up on the door, mainly because you don't want any accidents of a vacuum cleaner or someone's foot, or if you're moving furniture or some sort of items through the door that it doesn't hit and pop it off. So it's better just to have it higher up. So once we figured out where we're going to place them and we're happy with that, then we're going to flip these around and we're going to peel the backing off the magnet side. Then we're going to peel off the backing off the sensor side. So you want to make sure that before you stick these on that they're level. If they're not, you could always just go to the dollar store, get some 3M backing, and just layer it until they are aligned with each other. Okay, so that's a cheap way of doing it. It only costs $1. Okay, so now we're ready to place them. We're going to place the sensor side first, not right at the edge, but a few millimeters away. And then we're going to place the magnet side on the door, right like this, and make sure that the arrows are aligned like so. And there we go. So now we are done. And that is how you install the door sensors, just like that. So that was really easy. All right, so now we're going to show you how to place these on the window. Typically, these are usually used on basement windows because that is where intruders usually tend to break in when they're trying to get through the window. Usually people don't climb up the roof to enter the windows. And also on the first floor, you have your PIR motion sensors. Usually you got your door sensors. So usually that's covered. But if you have to choose one window, and you do have a basement, use it on your basement window. That's going to be the best bet. Now, we're going to place the sensor on the frame like this. And then we're going to place the magnetic side just like this. And again, you want to make sure that the two arrows are aligned with each other and that it is no more than 1/2 inch apart. Just like this. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to install the motion sensor. But before I do that, I'm going to explain the type of motion sensor it is. And once you understand it, then you'll understand the importance of the placement of it. Now, this is a PIR sensor. PIR stands for passive infrared. And a passive infrared sensor detects body heat or infrared energy by looking for temperature changes. It's the most widely used motion sensor around the world due to its effectiveness. So when you arm the system, it activates the motion sensor to report any possible threats. Now, how does it do that? It detects heat and movement in the surrounding areas by creating an invisible grid zone. If an object moves rapidly across and blocks too many grid zones and the infrared levels change rapidly, then the sensor triggers an alarm. So that's how that works. That's why the motion sensor placement is so important. Here are a few things to consider before placing your motion sensor. Number one, place your motion sensor high above the wall to get the best possible coverage, but avoid placing above large pieces of furniture like an entertainment center or a bookshelf, because that will limit its range. So for example, if this is a piece of furniture, like an entertainment center, it's right against the wall, and here's the wall, and you place your motion sensor against the wall above it, well, what's going to happen is all underneath here is going to get blocked, because this actually has a very wide angle view. So you definitely don't want anything here, because it's going to block, and everything underneath is going to be blocked. So make sure that you don't have any large pieces of furniture underneath. Now, we recommend placing these about 6 to 8 feet high. That is the sweet spot. So as long as you have it within that range, you're good. Number two, keep the motion sensor about 10 to 15 feet away from heat sources such as radiators, heating vents, and sunny windows. The reason being is that any sudden changes in heat can trip the motion sensor. So you want to keep those away from any heat sources. Number three, corners are the most ideal location because you can position them to cover the most area. But we do recommend that if you do that, to point them towards choke points. Now, a choke point would be like a hallway or a stairwell. Those are areas where a person must get through in order to get to anywhere in the house. So for example, if an intruder breaks in, they'll still trip the motion sensor no matter what the destination is in the house, because they must pass through the choke point. So for example, if they need to get to the bedroom upstairs, well, they still have to pass through the hallway or the stairwell in order to get to the bedroom. That's why it's so important to have these pointing towards choke points. Number four, mount the motion sensor opposite the main entrance. This goes for any doorway or hallway where you have these installed. So for example, if I walk into a doorway, even though this is mounted above and it's covering the whole area, it's not going to see me directly underneath. So what you want to do is place these across the room facing the doorway. This way it's going to trigger any movement right away. Now if you have two, it doesn't matter where you place these. You want to place one above and one in the other direction, that's fine. But because the OSI alarm system comes with one, we recommend to place these on the opposite direction facing the doorway. Okay? So number five, avoid mounting motion sensors facing moving objects, such as ceiling fans or moving curtains, things like that, because this may result in false alarms. Now the last point I want to make has to do with pets. Now most of us do have pets, so this is an important topic. A small pet will most likely not trigger the motion sensor, but a large dog will. So what we recommend doing is that your motion sensor is typically up on the corner, and it's usually facing downwards, just in a slight angle. So what you're going to do is you're going to point it straight or in a upwards angle. So do some testing. Arm your system, hide in a corner and call your dog and see if it triggers your alarm. If he does not trigger the motion sensor, then you're good. If he does, just keep pointing this in a higher angle and do another test until you get the sweet spot. So that's how you deal with a large pet. Now that you know where the best placement is for your motion sensor, let's install it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the motion sensor and you're going to place the surface mount on the back, and you're just going to place it like this and slide it upwards. Then with the surface mount attached to the motion sensor, you're going to place it on the wall where you want to install it. Then while holding the mount against the wall, you're going to pull off the motion sensor. Then with your pencil, you're going to mark the 2 screw holes. Then remove the mount. Then drill 2 holes that are smaller diameter than the anchors. This way the anchors fit in nice and snug. Then place the anchors in the holes and hammer them in so they're nice and flush. Then with our Phillips head screwdriver, we're going to screw the mount into those anchors. And then lastly, we're going to place our motion sensor on the mount and push downwards until it's nice and tight. Well, we hope this video helped you out, and if it did, please give us a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, just drop us a comment below. And if you want to see more videos, don't forget to subscribe. All the products that you see on our channel are available with free shipping at osigodirect.com or amazon.com. Those links are provided in the description below. My name is Brandon Paris, and thank you for watching.